Okay, hi gang, how you doing? Stephen Mayer here. Okay, so same again. We were supposed to be doing this on Sunday, but it's my birthday on Sunday, so we put it back to Wednesday. I'm always seem to be putting it back, don't I? Always seem to be putting it back. There's always something crops up. Always something crops up with me for there. So, just jump on here now. Sorry. Depression, anxiety, stress, stuff like that. Blah blah blah. It gets every one of us. It gets every single one of us for there. And same again, I've got a wee list here. People say a couple of things down for there. Still try to get folk on board to give a wee conversation, but they're still acting shy. So it's understandable for there. There's there Jacqueline. Evening, everyone. Evening, Jacqueline. How you doing? So what we're going to do on this one tonight is we're not going to hit anybody with science, by the way. We're not going to start giving out big science words on depression and this and that, blah, blah, blah. We're going to just give layman's terms. Sorry, something doing the wrong way. We're just going to give layman's terms and really just talk about depression, anxiety, and how you might feel. And if you want to really come in and say something, you want to come in and say something, we'll put it on the screen for there. If you want to send me a wee private mail, or if you want to come on the screen with me, have a wee chat, maybe it's something you want to chat about, then we can certainly do that as well for there. Absolutely no problem at all. Depression. We all get depressed. Everyone is get depressed. One of the best sayings I think I've really put out there for a long time is a lassie in my gym a while ago says to me, "You're one of the most positive guys I've ever met." And I says to her, I said, "Listen, pal, I break the same as anybody else." And I said, "I'm a human being." And I said, "Doesn't matter what job I do, doesn't matter what qualifications is on my wall, doesn't matter where I've been. At the end of the day, I still get depressed. I still get depressed. And anxiety, and it hits every one of us, but it's how I deal with it. It's how I deal with it. So remember, you know what it's like with these wee podcasts here. I always start off with stuff to do with myself because I like to give a story to get a story. That's how it works with me. And I've suffered from depression for years, but how bad would I say I suffer from it now? No, I wouldn't say I would suffer bad now, but I would say a few years ago I did. But I still get niggles. I still get anxiety and stuff like that. We all get it, by the way. And anybody, any counsellor, life coach, personal development coach, what you want to call it, this and that, blah blah blah, tells you different. They're lying. They're absolutely lying. We all get stressed out. Every one of us gets stressed out. So anybody's want to come in with a wee story here. What comments have we got here? There's your Maureen Ross. How you doing, Maureen? How's you? Jacqueline here saying, "I've dealt with my depression that long. I know I can acknowledge it now." Yes, definitely. Without a doubt. It's 2 seconds here, sorry. It's every one is. As I say, we're not going to get in and start hitting everybody with science talk here, right? We're not doing that. Because you know that it's a form of bad communication. Did you know that? When you talk to somebody in big fancy words, by the way, to somebody that doesn't know big fancy words, it's a form of bad communication. That's a scientific fact. So I've got a few things written down here at the start here for my good friend. I don't want to say his name in case he doesn't want me to say his name on screen for there, but he's made some really good pointers, and believe me, this guy knows what he's talking about. How is it affecting you? So like how is depression affecting you? Like you got your sleep pattern, your thoughts are racing, your appetite, your motivation, mindset. You could build this podcast on that alone. So as I say, give me examples of myself. Sorry, people. Give me examples of myself. I was on Prozac when I was about 25, 26. I think I was roughly. And, I didn't even know where I was. Did not even know where I was. And I don't know what happened. Things were just starting to go a wee bit upside down for me. And I don't know why. It was just happening. And I went to doctors, and doctor started to send me a counsellor, right? We'll jump on that one later on, right? But that didn't get down too good. And then they put me on Prozac, and I just thought I was an absolute zombie, and that's no Stephen Mayer. I didn't like it one single bit. I absolutely hated it. Just felt as though I didn't know what I was doing. And anybody that really knows me, I'm a lively person and I like to put it out there. You know what I mean? And just be lively and blah 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 for there. So as I say here, how is it affecting you? Like depression, how does that affect you for there? I've got Jacqueline here. I sleep all the time. Fatigue. Suicide. Can't read the end of that there. Sorry, pal. I think you said the last time you didn't have your glasses with you. Must get your glasses on there so I can read that wee bit there. But it hits us in a million ways, man. It hits us in an absolutely million ways. And it's amazing, by the way, the amount of people that don't talk about it. They don't. We've got Amber McNeil here. I shut down and don't like talking to people. Right, okay. So, you know what? Let's jump on that, right? Because I was watching a TikTok the other night there. I love TikTok. I love social media. You know that done. I said that the last time. I love social media. And this counsellor came on and she's supposed to be state registered, this and that. She was American, right? Blah, 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 right? Whether she was or she wasn't, I don't know. I don't really know. And she said that talking is a bad idea. What a load of junk, by the way. She's talking absolute junk because I'll tell you, you've got to talk to people. You've got to talk to people. But I know sometimes when people don't want to talk because sometimes they think, oh, I'm just annoying this person, and maybe they don't want to listen to what I've got to say and this and that, blah, blah, blah. There is people like that, by the way, that don't want to listen to what you've got to say, but there are also people that do want to listen to what you've got to say. So I understand that 100%, Amber. Be shut down and don't like talking to people, but you should talk. You should let it out there. But the hardest thing about that one, Amber, is who do you talk to? Because, you know, sometimes you think family and friends and this and that are the best. Sometimes that can be the worst. You know what I mean? So it can be quite difficult. I can tell you that right now. But sleep pattern, it destroys your sleep pattern. As I say, when I was younger and stuff like that, I was maybe up all night and things like that, and it was catching me 100%. And say then if you're talking about getting ready to go for work, and I'd be looking at the clock and going, God, I need to start in 2 hours, and anxiety was going through the roof. It was going absolutely through the roof. And you know, I couldn't pinpoint it. I couldn't pinpoint what was wrong. I just couldn't. I couldn't do that. Who else has had that? Who else is, when you get stuff in your head and you just sit down and go, what's wrong? You're probably sitting there financially fine. Kids are great. Boyfriend's great. Girlfriend's great. Family's great. This and that. But for some reason, you can't pinpoint it. And that does happen. And that happens to me now and again. Not as much as what it did. And I just sit there and I say, you know, in a very, 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 very good place, you know. That's a good point, Jacqueline saying there. Energy vampire depression that's a fact. It's an energy vampire, 100%. You're right there, Jacqueline, without a doubt. But it's as I say, things like your sleep pattern and things like that, your appetite. These things are so important because if you're sitting there without any of them, you know, then everything's just going to go dun and dun and dun and dun and dun and dun and dun. Now, I know that people will be watching this now and you can share these stories. Now, we've got a few things to go here, by the way, but we just at the start of the list, we could have a full conversation about that. You know, so anybody wants to come on and share it or send me a wee private mail on my Facebook, they certainly can. So who we got here? Was this Sandy McCleary? Waynes. So we've got Sandy McCleary here from YouTube. How you doing, Sandy? Sandy's saying the Waynes. You talking about the Waynes are making you depressed? Waynes. I think that's what you're trying to say there, Sandy boy. So I don't have any kids, so I wouldn't know if that's what you're talking about there, Sandy. Motivation as well. So you say it yourself, you know, you kind of get motivated. So when you kind of get motivated for something, then you get depressed by that. And it could, same again, it could be in sport, it could be whatever you're doing, and then you become depressed. You just can't put it together. Let's jump in here. Jacqueline says, Stevie, do you think genetics play a part? Do you know, right, okay, let's talk about that. Do you think genetics play a part? I know people that's came from very, very good upbringings and everything's been great and loving and caring and everything, and the family's never experienced that, but it just takes one family member to experience it, you know. So you're digging deep there, right? And I'd like to I'd like to get back to you on that one for there regarding genetics, because I spoke to that many people, and I would say aye, and I would say no, definitely. But at the end of the day, it's like it's cause and effect. It's things that's going to set us off into it. It's going to set us off in life where things are going to be a wee bit upside down that puts you into a depression. It plays a million parts for there, 100%. Depression and anxiety can be linked 100%. As I said, talking about anxiety there, I would go up in the morning and I don't know why. I would go up in the morning and I would be like, oh, my stomach's all gone. I could feel it right there. And I'm like, wait a minute, I've got a great job. I've got great clients and everything, but for some reason, and then I went to go out of my bed, I felt as though I couldn't really face that client or clients and stuff, and nobody was giving me any jip for nothing for there. But it just happens. How many folks had that? How many folk, if you just opened your eyes in the morning and you just feel as though in that world out there's dark, it's totally dark. Jacqueline says, for me, I had to change my environment and learn to say no without guilt. You have to learn to say no without guilt. Do you know that? Right, okay, that can kick in for other stuff there, right? But learning to say no, you do get that's put that one down to like a being stressed there, but then being stressed, then being depressed, then anxiety and everything. So they all roll into one, don't they, for there? When you're turning around saying there and saying no to people. But I know what you're saying there, right? But I put that one mainly down to as you're stressed on that one for there. But then being stressed puts you into being depressed and stuff like that. Listen, there's so many avenues with this, by the way. I've read a lot of stuff on it, and when I was at uni, I've done a lot of stuff on it as well. And sorry, just checking here. Somebody saying maybe mail. No, it's no. Get that. What's that there? Right. Where are we now? Right. Coping methods, right? This is one here that a good friend of mine was wanting to write down as well there. Coping methods, i.e. drinking, avoidance, things like that, Where does drinking play a part in drugs? Where do they play a part with depression? Play a big part, don't they? Play a massive part, because the amount of people that just want to, get to the end of a bottle, bolt me a glass or cocaine or whatever, and it makes them feel good. And I always say there is no chemical solution for a spiritual well-being. Remember, everybody, when I also mention spiritual, it's not religious in any way or form, by the way. I don't do that. I don't get involved with that for there. But it's definitely the right way, and that makes you worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And then you've got the tolerance level and everything for there, and you just want more and more and more and more and more. Then you get into further and further depression on that, further depression. Affect your brain chemistry, Jacqueline says there. Yep, definitely. Anybody want to come on? Does anybody want to come on and have a wee talk about a wee experience? There's Deborah Keys. How you doing, Deborah? If anybody wants to come on and have a wee chat about experience, I can send you the link. Just let me know. Absolutely no problem for there. Panic attacks. Who's suffered from panic attacks with things like this? I had my first panic attack years ago, and I didn't even know what was happening. We'll come back to that in 2 seconds there, Amber. And I didn't know, it just hit me right out of the blue. First time I ever had one. Thought I was dying, honest to God. It was absolutely murder. Who said the panic attacks? Can you give me, anybody want to sort of write a wee bit on the comment side for there, and we can say it to the world, whatever. Or you want to come on and talk about a situation, we'll send you the link. Absolutely no problem. Okay, right. Amber McNeil says, what's your opinion on anxiety and depression medications? Now, I'm going to be honest with you. Number one, I want to state that I'm no medical when it comes to antipsychotics and things like that, and blah, 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 right? But I'm going to be honest with you, not loving it at all. I am definitely not a lover of antidepressants, stuff like that for there. Now, some people, in certain cases, maybe extremely probably need it. But some people, and you're sitting chatting away and say, I don't think you really need that. I don't tell my clients that, because at the end of the day, I'm not medical enough to talk that way, but I always watch what I say. And that's a wee disclaimer there. I'm not telling anybody to put them in the bin. I'm not telling anybody to do that. Somebody was asking just me my opinion there, and I'm putting my opinion out, that I really believe that, putting yourself out there and being busy with different stuff and things like that can make it work. I'm not going to say it works all the time, by the way, right? But medication, I'm not a big lover of it for there. Amber says here, I shut down beforehand, but now I feel it actually works. Yep. See, it all goes back to what you were saying before there, Amber, when you were saying about, no really talking and things like that. It all mounts up, pal. It all mounts up. And then, so what happens is do you get a medication, whatever these medications are, and then you make these medications make you feel euphoric. And then when you feel euphoric, you feel as though I've got the confidence to talk and this and that, but it's not really you that's talking, it's the medication that's talking. And no want to mention names there and people that I've been with before, or what their title is, but I used to have a lot of conversations with them, and I didn't agree with it. I just did not agree with it. 100% didn't agree with it for there at all. So, same again, anybody want to come on board and tell us a wee story, please come on board. It would be excellent to hear from you. So, is depression taboo? Right. Quite a good one. Is depression taboo? People don't want to talk about it. Do you think people, even this day and age, do you think people don't want to talk about it? Do you think they go, I better know because I might lose my job. My friends might think I'm just playing up. My family might think I'm at it and things like that. What do you think of that? Do you think that people don't really want to discuss it? They don't. Deborah Case here. I'm an alcoholic for 35 years and I've been sober since January. It was hard, but I'm sober and proud of myself. We're all proud of you, Debbie. We're all proud of you, pal. And I've got no idea how that must feel, pal. I've got no idea. And I'm not going to say here, I know how you feel, because I don't. Because last time I was drunk, I was 15 years of age. It's something that never came my way, never bothered me. But I've got no idea. But what we're wishing, Debbie, is that you keep going forward, pal. You keep going forward and forward. So, Debbie, when you're in that situation, do you feel as though that you like to talk to people or you don't like to talk to people? What do you think on that? If you can write on that, we'll bring you up on screen. Amber McNeil says, I think people are too afraid of people's opinions nowadays that they prefer being quiet. That's fact, because the amount of people that I'll have in here, like a wee session, hypnotherapy, counselling session, and I'll say, oh, listen, is nobody's got to know, nobody will know, and they're very emotional about it and things like that for there. Jacqueline Morrison, I think they're getting a little better, but some people do not know what to say. I know they don't know. They don't know what to say. They really don't. They really don't. It's they really don't. Sorry, I'm just switching between these ones for here. There's your Maureen Ross from Holistic Healing Hands, by the way, who's a master Reiki. And that'd be a good one to get yourself in touch with your Debbie, who she does Reiki, and a 100% endorser, by the way, 1,000,000%, 110% endorser. No ifs or buts. We're all there for you, Debbie, without a doubt. But I would definitely say that depression and things like that is definitely still a bit taboo. I would definitely still say that people still look at it and think, oh, I better know. This is how you all see these quotes that come up, and it says, people that smile all day and are stressed out are strong people. That's true, but they don't want to say. They just really don't want to say. Jacqueline Morrison is also saying, well done, Debbie there. See, Debbie, we're off for you, 1,000,000%. Emma McNeil, Aaron's phone has died, but he's asking, how do you know to identify if you're anxiety or depression? See, anxiety. Right. That what? That's another subject, right? Because we're gonna be a bit deeper there. What we'll do with that one, Amber, is if we want, we could do a wee show with Aaron on that one. He's probably sitting there going, no chance. If he wants, we could do that one for there, and we could talk about, what's this and what's that, and we could get into more detail, because we've only got like short time on that one for there. But what, as I said at the very start, what I want to try and do with this one is this. See, I just go on and on, don't I? I just talk. And what I want to do is I don't want to get into absolutely the sciencey things where people turn on and go, I don't even know what this guy's talking about. And then it doesn't make the show where it's really supposed to be about. I want it to be layman's terms, 100%. So there's your Debbie saying, thanks for your comments, means a lot. Mate, listen, we're all a team. We're all a team, Debbie. We're all a team. Jacqueline here says, most people suffer depression, usually have anxiety. They go hand in hand. Aye, definitely. Depression, anxiety can be linked in it. Just what I was saying at the start there for there. So what else have we got here? What makes you depressed? Right? What makes you depressed? What makes you depressed? Does anybody want to come in here and give me some wee stuff on here and tell me where they are with that? What makes you depressed? Now, it could be the slightest thing, by the way. It could be something so stupid, but it's not stupid to you, but it's stupid to others. And but I also know people, by the way, that don't believe in depression, don't believe in it one single bit. They think it doesn't exist. And that's their belief. And you can't take that belief away from them. Absolutely no chance. But it's we'll come back to that one, Amber. Still maybe that one there. I think we'd like to maybe do a wee show on that one if you don't mind. But what makes you depressed? What makes you depressed? We've got Jacqueline here again. Can be your environment, lack of purpose, and finance. Yep. I remember, I'm not going to say who it was. I remember a certain person used to always say to me, it's no money. It's no money. It makes the world go round. It's love. And I used to say to the person, go and try and pay your bills with it, and when money's no there and stuff like that, you can get kids and things. Wow. As I say, I've got no idea. I don't have kids, and it must be very, very, very difficult. Margaret Lockhart, welcome. How you doing? Losing loved ones and not dealing with it, that is difficult. That is difficult. You've lost somebody and they're always in your head and your heart, and you just you can't get them out your head. But coming off a track for that one a wee bit there, if you don't mind me talking about it, Margaret, and it's like wherever they are now, I believe that they can do a lot more for you now than what they could have done when they were here, when they were alive. If you're talking about people passing over, if this is what you're talking about, I take it that you're Margaret for there. But so very, very difficult. Very, very difficult. So we'll get Deborah back on here. That's so true. But I'm on medication ever since my husband Glenn passed away. We were together 35 years. See, it's a long time. What would be good, Deborah? Again, the thing is, we can bring folk on for wee shows there. It doesn't need to be live. It can be recorded if anybody wants to discuss it, because these things are all good. Thanks for that, Margaret. Thanks for that, Margaret. And I truly believe that what they can do on the other side, they can do a lot more than what they could have done when they were here, Margaret. 100%. But Deborah and Amber and Aaron, they could be like separate shows if you're willing to come on and do that, and it's recorded, and anything you want to too sure what you said, we can delete it and put them up, because people would love to hear your stories. They really would like to hear your stories. Definitely. And I've known you a long time, Debbie. A long, long time. A long time. So what else have we got here? Right. Sorry. Examples of depression. No job, relationships, money, kids, etc., etc. Just as what we were saying there, different things can come in. Jacqueline and that was saying that. Examples of depression, probably one of the biggest ones the new is where everybody's electricity is going through the roof, and you're hearing crazy prices, and you've got mother and father sitting there, and they're like, maybe only get one wage coming in, and they're sitting, how do we make this work? How does this? Because the government's no interested. And I don't want to be political. I don't want any of my shows to be like that. But and it's like you'd have a brick wall, and you're getting really, God, you're depressed and anxiety. A certain person told me a few weeks ago there that they were up at 2:00 in the morning and thinking how they were going to pay bills, and they couldn't get back to sleep. And I'm not saying what else they were going to say, but it was a bad world they were in, 110%. So examples of depression, you could do a full show with that, and it could last for 2-3 hours, guaranteed for there, guaranteed. Sorry, where are we now? So what else have we got here? So say, just marking down. Some people's asked me to write some things down here. What is the lowest you've ever been? What is the lowest you've ever been? Jacqueline says here, heartbreaking people go through it. Right, definitely. What is the lowest you've ever been? Can somebody give me some examples on that if you want to share with the world? Because we're live on Facebook, we're live on YouTube, and we're live on Twitter. And we're half an hour in. Shows always fly by here. I totally enjoy it. I love doing it. What's the lowest you've ever been? Anybody wants to give me examples? Same again. Anybody want to come in the conversation? We'll send you a link and you can have a wee conversation for there. Anybody want to come in? And I'm sure everybody would love to hear your stories. Or if you want to do the story out with, then we can do a recording out with for there. It can even just be an audio. We've got Margaret Lockhart here again. Complicated walking in front of a lorry. Contemplated walking in front of a lorry. That's you're a bad you were or are in a bad place, Margaret. You know, that's tough, man. And the thing is, Margaret, if you'd done that, how many folk would miss you and people that love you and care for you and everything that goes for it? You know, you'd be gone, but the people that are still here would be sad. You know, it'd be sad, so sad. Amber McNeil, after giving birth, I felt so lost. It took a long time for me to snap back to myself. In what way did you feel lost, Amber? Which way did you feel lost? If you don't want to get any detail on that, then that's something that we could talk about out with. If it's something you want to bring on board on another show, then we can do that, no problem. So we've got Jacqueline here. When I hit rock bottom with my drug addiction, lost 2 boys, different situations, and sleeping on the street, but raised back up, and here I am. Brilliant. I mean, these are great stories. These are great stories. And the thing is, how do you feel when you tell this story? You're live here. People see your name, they see your face. How do you feel when you tell these stories? Do you feel a wee bit liberating type thing? You know, it's like a wee bit off my chest. Or maybe you still feel the same, you know. Let's bring Margaret back on here. That one thing I couldn't put my kids through in the pain. Oh, it would be major pain, Margaret. You know, I don't have kids, and I'm repeating this through the show here, you know, because people have been asking certain questions. I don't have kids, you know. It'd be difficult. Let's bring Debbie back on. Debbie, I have 4 kids and 12 grandkids. They keep me going and wouldn't drink again. I have a great relationship with them now, and I was drinking and missed out on a lot. Now, hear that one so many times, by the way, when folks say, I missed out on so much. You hear it all the time. Now, this is good because your comments are starting to come in quite fast now. This is good. So, excellent. So, listen, before we go any further, let's just put up some of our wee sponsors here. We've got Turbo Tribble Plastering Services, great guy to deal with. There's your Stephen Mayer Team Mersey Personal Training. And we've got Maureen Ross, who's Healing Holistic Hands, Reiki Master, who really mind and body 100%. And we've got Tavendale Fabrications, who's good for all your metalwork stuff for there. And we've got Cameron DL Skip Hire. This guy will absolutely help you 1,000,000% with all your rubbish and stuff like that for there. Stephen Mayer again there, Mersey boy. And it's massage therapy. So let's get back to the logo here. Anybody that's want a wee mention, it doesn't cost a penny, by the way, to put up a mention on this show. Not a penny. And we'll definitely help you out for there. Here's just a couple of wee stats. This is a wee stat thing here that I got, you know, and it just talks about, I'll put this up now. If you don't see it 100%, it's on my Facebook anyway later on, so you can maybe pause it and have a look at it. And these are just different stats, you know, on depression, what 1,000 men said about their mental health, things like that. I'll put these up for a wee short bit there, but you can go back and you can read it and see what you think for there. So you can pause that later on. Let's go back to the comments here. Yep. Amber McNeil says, I can't exactly explain. It was like baby brain. I was just lost. Right. So I think a few other people that said Wayne's would understand that for there. But do you still feel lost? Do you still feel lost? Or do you feel things are moving forward for you now? Let's bring Margaret back on here. Kids had lost enough family. Now we have 6 grandkids and love it. But there are times I still get depressed, which my grandkids help with for there. How do you feel when you're depressed, Margaret? How do you feel when you're down? I know you said earlier on there about a lorry, but how do you feel inside when you're sitting there just yourself? How do you feel? You can send that to me in a private mail if you want for them. We can get a wee chat about that. There's so much information on here tonight, by the way. You could do 1,000,000 shows with us. Seriously, people are starting to really open up with some stuff for there. Amber, things are definitely looking up and starting to focus on myself. You've got to focus on yourself, because who else is going to look after you? You're the world's foremost expert on yourself, is you. 100%. Sorry, just get through here some wee stuff here. Put up different stuff. 2 seconds, back to our comments. So what else have we got on the list here? As I say, we're keeping this very basic, very layman's terms here, and people are starting to come in with some stuff, and I hope that later on you can maybe send me some stuff for there, which would be good. Do you wake up every morning with anxiety, and why? Do you wake up? Now, we spoke about this earlier on. Do you wake up every morning with anxiety, and why? Now, as I say, I used to get it. I don't even know. I'm laughing now. And I used to be like, wow, do I want to go to this job or do whatever? I'm going to lose it if I don't this and I don't do that. And what put it there, I have no idea. But obviously, because remember the subconscious mind, by the way, it's 100 mile an hour and never shuts down. Never shuts down. We'll get Jacqueline back here. We get one life, guys. We're only here for a short time. I'm embracing life now. Wish I'd done it years ago. Right. Let me stop you on that saying there, by the way, right? Because people will say to me, Jacqueline, oh, I wish I'd have done training years ago. No, the best time is now. You know why now? Because you're going to get your absolutely full attention now. Whereas years ago, you probably wouldn't have given it your full attention. So that's not a saying I absolutely 100% like. But I know you're coming for. I know you're coming for. But we did get one shot. And and this is what I've been watching. Now, let's jump onto social media again here. We've done a social media the other day there, but it's still relevant to this. And I've been watching a lot of this social media stuff here on TikTok and things like that. And honest to God, I'm so glad that I don't really get that way anymore now, because there must be people out there look at this Facebook and TikTok and whatever, and they're like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And you know what? They should be living their lives, and there's religions out there that's making people scared and things like that. And these animals that are going round in circles and all that. Don't take any of that on board, man. Please. Don't take any of that on board. Come off it or scroll through and just go away. So what was that you were saying there, Jacqueline? Oh my God, TikTok give you depression. Well, right, Jacqueline, we're just saying that there about TikTok, right? I listen, I got to laugh at it. I don't take nothing. I take nothing serious on it. When you hear things about Russia and China and they're talking about nuclear bombs, I'm going to sit right back, by the way, and just laugh about it until one day there's a bomb hits out there and that's it. Then it's for real, isn't it? See, until then, I live my life, by the way. I live my life, and I'm not been on here and trying to be all strong, this and that, and hide whatever. I'm telling you right now, it's don't take all that junk on board. It is absolute junk. So, do you wake up in the morning with anxiety, and why? What do you think in the morning? When you've got that sitting right there, what do you think about? We've got Jacqueline again here. We got to watch what we feed the brain, Stevie. Right. But you're in control of what you feed the brain. You're in charge of how it processes. You're in charge of how it processes and how it's going to make you feel good or how it's going to make you feel bad. You're in charge if it's going to make you happy or sad and things like that. You're in charge of that. Telling you, all these, I've been being political here, and it is relevant. All these governments and things like that, they're out to scare you, man. They're out to scare you. Simple. I mean, without getting into massive detail, they're out to scare you. Just swipe by these things, swipe by them. The book of Revelations and this and that and blah, blah, blah. Just swipe by it and look at all the funnies. That's what I do. I look at all the funnies. I'm telling you right now, don't bother with it. I really, really don't bother with it. So this one here is really just what I was saying at the start there. Somebody was asking, most of the times you just can't explain why. That's true. You just can't explain why you're in that situation. You can't. I done a video, I think it was pre-COVID. I'm sure it was, because I get mixed up with these dates. And I done a video, and I wasn't going to do it, but I always wanted to do it now and again. And I was in my bed. Now, it's still on my Facebook. If anybody scrolls through my Facebook, you'll see me lying there. And it was a video how I was stressed out that day, and I was recording how I felt. And I felt I just wasn't in charge of nothing. It felt really, really weird, stuff like that, And just like I say on this bit of paper here, I could not explain you know, and I'm in a very good position where I'm in life when I couldn't explain why I was like that. Was that something subconscious that was it was just rattling about in here that just I couldn't put together. I could not put together at all. You'll find that on my Facebook. That wasn't done for a look at me. That was not at all. I'd never feel sorry for myself, and anybody feels sorry for me, I would just get rid of them out of my life because I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Let's jump into Debbie again. I used to suffer with anorexia. Since I stopped drinking, I've gained a lot of weight, and that depression does get to me. And sometimes when I'm in bed, my brain doesn't let me sleep. So you went from one extreme to another. You went from one extreme to another. And you know, I was saying to a client the other day there, you know, is getting you go to watch what I'm saying here because you know the world's that size now. Go to watch what I'm saying. But it's getting yourself, you know, stimulated. And there's a lot of people out there that are not stimulated. They're not stimulated at all. And they're just definitely going down the wrong roads to seek whatever, you know. And as I said earlier on there about talking to people, who's the right person, who's the wrong person, you know, that's quite a difficult one. Honest to God, it's quite a difficult one. Who's right and who's wrong? Because many times if you spoke to somebody about where you are and it's get out and you've been, and that's made you get into more depression. You don't trust anybody and things like that for there. And listen, we could get into massive science with this, but I'm not going to get into science with it. There's no point in doing that. It's as I say, it's people just will end up shutting off on it, and you know, it confused me at the start when I was at uni with a lot of stuff. Believe me. So no a bad wee list there. Sorry, I don't want to touch that key in case I cut somebody off there. How does everybody feel about what they've written today on the sides here? You've got Jacqueline, Amber, Deborah, Margaret, things like that. How do you feel when you are posting something like that that's just going around the world? How do you feel when you're posting that? Do you feel good about yourself when you're posting that? Do you feel depressed that you've done it? Do you feel like, my God, I shouldn't have said that, I shouldn't have wrote that? Or do you feel, you know, does it feel liberating? Does it feel good that's I've said that, I've told that, and these people, you know, Amber said it freaks me out. No, I think it's a great thing what you've done. I think it's a great thing. You know, we're not. I don't ask people to tell. Remember, you don't need to tell everybody everything about you. By the way, you've always got to keep something back. You know, but it is good to let things out there. Like I said, when I saw that one, I might do a stitch on that one. On the would you call it the TikTok one? But that lassie says you don't talk to anybody, and she was state registered. I don't know if she was state registered in, but I'm no swallowing that at all. Anybody that's medical, by the way, you want to come in this conversation, please come in. We're not here to bring you down or slag you or whatever. We're just here to see what your knowledge is about it. Jacqueline, I feel good and hope it can help someone. I've accepted parts of me, so I'm cool within what I share. That's good. I'm telling you, I think Jacqueline, Amber, Deborah, and maybe possibly Margaret, if he's still on for there. I think he's still on there. You know, it'd be great. It would be great to get you on in a recording, by the way, and get you on the screen together and share a couple of wee stories that you want to share. It'd be quite good for a wee podcast, you know, and only share what you want to share and how you can chat to each other and you see each other and talk to each other and say, I can relate to that, things like that. If that's something you're interested in, that'd be really good. That'd be really good. Deborah, this is the first time I've ever spoken about it, but I'm so grateful for the feedback and thanks, 100%. Jacqueline says, "Yeah, like a wee group chat. Aye, like a wee group chat. But it's we want the world to know. We want the world to know. I always want the world to know because the same again that goes back a few weeks ago talking about social media. I love social media. I think that people can learn from this. They can help them with a lot of stuff. Anybody wants to get involved in that, you can send me a private mail and we can definitely do that. And it's good support. Jacqueline here says, "Yep, we can all support each other." Margaret, I tell people, not for me, to let people know that it does not happen. That it does happen to a lot of people. If it helps anyone, all the better. Yep. I think that would be a very interesting podcast. I think it'd be very interesting podcast to put you on the one screen and get a gab about where you are, and nobody will be in charge. It's because you've all got a story to tell, and I think it'd be very interesting. I'm so chuffed that you're writing this down. I'm so chuffed that you're writing this down here. I'll send you a wee private mail in the next few days, and as I say, anybody that doesn't want to do it, it's no problem, and it's just think it'd be good, because I think you've got a lot more to tell there, a lot more to tell, and a lot more that's on this list for there, 1,000,000%, 1,000,000%. But so listen, we're nearly 45 minutes in there. There's Jacqueline's there saying, let's do it, guys. And she's saying, don't be shy. I think they're all agreeing to it. I think they're all agreeing to come on the screen. And we'll definitely put all these names up here. And I'll be in touch with you. Or if you could remind me and send me a private mail, because sometimes my memory with things is upside down, and say who would like to be involved. And then we can do a recording. Doesn't need to be live, by the way. It can be recording. And the reason I say that is because if you do something recorded and somebody says, "Oh, I shouldn't have said that," then I can make that out. I can bleep that out, if something you've said. So, Amber, I'm just a wee bit unsure with the video. Well, that's another thing I forgot to mention as well, Amber. When they come on the screen, I can cut out the video, and all you can hear is your voice, pal. I can do that, no problem at all. The screen can be cut out. So say you've got 4 or 6 on the screen, I can cut it out, and it's just got your name for there, and that'd be great. Deborah, he says, yes, Jacqueline, love to talk to you. All right, see, so that's good. So that's good. You're all getting a wee chat with each other there. This is good. I always believe that these things are meant to be. Definitely, there's meant to be where, why am I saying this and why am I saying that? And then you get people here that are starting to talk to each other, starting to interact with each other, and it's meant to be. I live my life there, honest to God. If people say, what's this guy talking about now? Don't bother clicking on my podcast, or don't bother coming onto my Facebook. You're just wasting your time, because I love talking like this. I really do. But listen, we've no covered everything to do with depression and anxiety for there, because it's endless. It's endless. The things that happens and causes and things like that, it's endless and endless, endless. But I think what's really been good with this one here is we've got a few of these lasses together here who's prepared to come on and all have a wee chat and tell their stories about what they want to do. Amber, if you're still on for there, you don't need to be on video. You can just be audio. What we can do is we can shut your screen off, pal. I can do that for this side. No problem at all. So what was that there? Margaret says, sorry, doing the dishes while listening. Yep, let's do this. So it looks like you're all up for it. So if you could all do us a wee favour and send me a private mail and just say, "Hi, Steve, I want to be part, I want to be part, I want to be part." If we get it on the private mail, that would be great for you there, and then we can start working on that. That'd be good. And we can get it done before Christmas. It'd be even better. 100%. So, Jacqueline is saying there, how long have we got? We'll do it when you're ready. It's none of do with me, by the way. I'm just the guy putting it out there. It's you that'll be telling the stories. So end of the day, it's just when you're ready. It's when what we'll do is we'll put it out times and dates and say when do you think's best. And we'll all get together. We'll get into maybe like a wee group chat and say when do you think's best. Remember, it's all about yous. It's all about yous, 100%. And we'll do it for there. So, what was that Jacqueline was saying there? We could all do a book. Oh God, we all could. Amber, definitely, definitely. So listen, remember, you do not need to be on video. Now this will be really good because we can share a lot of stories here. And anybody that's listening in that's not actually wrote anything, then I think I'm allowed to bring about 6 people on the screen. I think I'm allowed that. So just send me a private mail and we'll get this up and running, and you can tell your stories for there. The only thing I ask is if anybody's got a story to tell and it's about a partner and things like that, we don't mention the partner's names. They're not here to defend themselves and stuff like that. I wouldn't allow that on my podcast. So, but you're allowed to say partner or ex or this or that. Not a problem. Not got a problem with that at all. But we don't allow mentioning names and things like that. I've really enjoyed it, by the way. As I say, been very, very basic. It's been good because Jacqueline and Amber and Margaret and Deborah, and if I missed anybody out there, I hope I've not missed anybody out there. It's been great coming on, and it's going to be building up now to where we're going to have a wee podcast with all them together, and that'll be amazing for there. So next week is going to be school. Actually, it'll be Sunday. Hopefully, try and get this one on a Sunday this time. Try and get this one on a Sunday. So it'll be about, did schools give you enough skills to survive when you left for there? So what's going to happen is that'll be the last one of the year. But I'm going to do a live Christmas show and a live New Year one. New Year one will be, it's really, there's no topics. It's really just about how's your Christmas and how's your New Year. And we're going to go live from Christmas Eve, getting right into Christmas Day. And we're going to, New Year, we're going to go New Year's Eve, about 11:45. That one will probably go on for about 2-3 hours. I'm just going to keep it live and get right in there. So that'll be good for there. As I said to everybody as well, starting for next year, I'll be doing the shows every 2 weeks because I need to get my stuff ready for UWS Radio that I've been a bit slacking on. And I need to get my material done for them as well for there. But I think this has been really productive, by the way, with Jacqueline and Deborah, Amber, Margaret, and if I've missed anybody there, sorry. Been very productive because we're going to get all them now next on screen, and when we get that, then I'll put a wee advert up for that. It'll not be live because if somebody says something that might be a turn they didn't want to say, then it'll be hard. You can't take it back. It will be recorded, and like Amber was saying there, she's not really good with the video. Then it'll just be a blank screen. You just see a blank screen, and I'll turn your camera off. I can do that this end for there. It turns it off. I don't know if I can show you something to know how it works out there. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't actually. You need to come on the screen for it first for there. So, everybody, we're at 50 minutes there. I want to thank everybody that's come on again and listened to it. And anybody that thinks it's rubbish and junk, you shouldn't be watching it. You should be moving forward. You should be blocking me. Simple as that. Hope you're good. Hope you're well. Please stop looking at social media. Don't look at negative stuff. Don't think it's the end of the world. Nobody knows when it's going to be the end of the world. Simple as that. Look at your wains. Look at your boyfriend. Look at your girlfriend. Look at your family and just go out there and love and care and get a good laugh. Enjoy yourself every week with whatever you do. Blah, blah, blah. Don't fall into this stupid negative rubbish. If anybody's talking about anybody and stuff like that, get rid of them. Don't deal with that either. Simple as that. So, look forward to seeing you all Sunday. Hopefully, this one will definitely be on Sunday, taking us back to school, which will be quite good. So, same again. Hope somebody can come on with that and give us a couple of their stories. And thank you very much for watching. Without yous, there's no me. Thanks.